I'm gonna show you guys that it's possible to paint an entire car with a rattle can, and it can look good. I've learned a lot about painting especially over the past month. I'm really excited to get painting because I'm so tired of my shop looking like this, having a booth in the middle of it. Today, I'm gonna be working with Spray Max. I've actually used their products a lot in the past, so I reached out to them and asked if they wanted to help out, send some products, or let me go over some of the stuff that they have, and they agreed, and it's pretty cool because they do have a pretty neat assortment of things, and they're easily accessible. You can get them on Amazon, but look at all this stuff. Amazing. Also, I'm tired of hearing this in the background. Oh, something I never knew you could do. Blows my mind. When I was having a conversation with them, they said, we don't sell pre-packaged colors of paint in an aerosol can. Okay, so what do I do? Oh, you just buy the empty aerosol cans and fill them with paint yourself. Boys, I'm telling you, it's like I had a revival. This is a fill can. I can choose whatever freaking color I want and put it in this thing. That's cool. So we're gonna be spray painting an entire car from start to finish. And I think the point of all this is, especially with this car too, and the Spray Source has some fill cans as well. Honestly, I just didn't know that this was an option. Like, he told me when he was here, he's like, yeah, we do that too. Blows my mind. Maybe there's somebody out there that might want the same thing for touch-up paint or small resprays made easy. And that really is the point, because you can take, let's say, this custom color I made with the Spray Source. You can take this color, and in this particular instance, you'd probably just have it pre-packaged in a can, so that if I ever in some way like destroy my bumper or this or that, I can fiberglass repair it, body work it, and then I can respray it with a can instead of setting up an entire paint booth, getting the paint gun, doing all the things that it takes to do the professional sort of painting, because it is a lot of work. You've got filler primer, epoxy primer, and then a guide coat. You use the filler primer to sort of high build, and you block from there. You use the guide coat and then block. This is a 1K, thankfully, so you don't have to have an activator. And then once it's all done and I'm happy with, which I don't think I'm ever going to be happy with the body work on the car, but once I'm okay with it, I will epoxy primer it and it'll seal it, and then we'll go straight to the base coat. So the reason for me doing this is not to show you guys that this is the way you should do it. It's more of just to show you that you can do it with the spray cans, with the epoxy primer, before I said anything about it, because I've never painted an entire car with an aerosol can. First thoughts, it works better than you'd think, but with everything, especially with paint, my whole point with the past 2 cars I've painted, it's all about the amount of prep that you do. Prep is literally everything. So if you prep the car well and it's in a good environment with moderate, even this blow up booth is not amazing, but it works. I had to get a little extractor from Harbor Freight and change the fans around, and it does do its job. Now, the thing that I've noticed is with aerosol, it's never gonna be better than using an actual spray gun, because with spray guns, you have different nozzle sizes and stuff like that. But you have, for one, I guess the few things that are best about using a real spray gun is you're gonna have more consistency, more accuracy, and you're gonna have a lot more pressure putting the paint onto the car. The thing that I've noticed so far is, especially whenever you're working on the roof, the hood, and some of the parts where you're having to basically take the can and tilt it like this to paint, it's really tough because it honestly wants to stop spraying. So that's a little bit of an obstacle that I had to sort of start to learn to overcome, and I'm interested to see what's gonna happen when I actually start painting. I think it's gonna be okay though. The other thing I'm not particularly stoked about, like Spray Max cans are good, and the nozzles are, for what it's worth, they're really good, but not all cans are spraying the same. So I've had some cans that have a wider sort of geometry with how it's applied, spray angle, whatever you want to call it. And then I had some that are a little bit less, and I've also noticed that as the can starts to empty, you're obviously losing pressure, and you're going to get not only less of a spray angle, but seems to be a little bit less product coming out too. So what I've had to learn with this is, anytime I'm holding the can up like this, I pretty much open a new can constantly and just utilize the pressure that I can for that, and then I'll save the rest of the can for the lower areas where I can tilt it back or just hold it straight. Those are my first thoughts. It's working. It's actually working really well, considerably well, and I'm excited to see what the turnout is. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, there's some bodywork areas that I'm a little upset with, but like I said before, law of diminishing returns. At some point, you're just wasting your time, or you're not getting anything out of it. So it is what it is. I'm gonna choose the color we're doing this car is cool, and I think it's gonna hide it, but I think the point is this car's just gonna look sick. I got a bunch of cans filled with GM's, I think it's called Velocity Yellow. It's a really cool color. It's the color they use on their all the C6R, C7R, C8R. That's the color. So it's got some racing background to it. I'm gonna be painting these out here with a fan behind me, more just to show you guys that you should use a booth if you can, but I'd like to use every sort of example I can in one video. So the body kit is gonna get painted out here. You can create a good product in a grass field, even, if you will, with a spray can. Gotta be careful about your application here. So especially since this is yellow, you just gotta kinda give it as much beans as you can. Oh, that's gonna be so sick, dude. Oh my gosh. Painter's hack. Really cool tip of the trade. When you're painting, this could be with a rattle can or a spray gun, doesn't matter. Watch what I'm doing here. How do I explain this? So that you don't have any sort of overlap. So let's say like I stopped right here in the middle of this side skirt. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna very lightly dust it on the other side, and then boom, come in, and then if you're done, fling it out. That helps you not get a ton of overlap, not too much, but it also allows you to do smaller areas like this, where you bring it in, fling it out, bring it in, fling it out, and you get a lot nicer and more consistent paint application that way. So because it's yellow, you need a lot of it. I mean, a lot. this was, I was gonna say harder than you think, but it's probably as hard as you think. Yellow was a bold choice. Not a smart idea from a spray can, but I had to use a lot of paint for this. It seemed, I mean, dude, it went on pretty good. I'm sure once it gets into the light, there's gonna be some tiny spots you can make fun of me for. For what it's worth, it turned out pretty decent. And again, like, I'm not trying to break the world record here or do anything absolutely insane. I'm just trying to show you guys that you could paint a freaking body kit and a whole car in your garage. Should you? I'll leave that up to you. At this point, I prefer a gun, but I'm already here. Clear coat, we have a lot of it, which I'm going to need. So this is their clear glamour. It is a 2K, meaning that it has a little activator on it and it will only last so much time. So open it, put that little boot on the bottom and start spraying. Dang, that looks really good. This clear works really well, and it looks good. You notice it has like this sort of translucent, really clear, like, or maybe it's glamour, like it's a glamour glass, so it looks glamorous. Wow, it's obviously spotty, because I need to be wet sanded and I need to do one more coat, but wow, it's so cool. I look crazy. That was a jump scare. It's kind of funny. The video makes the yellow look a lot lighter than it is. Like, it's a lot more saturated and pretty. But anyways, it turned out really good. This was all spray can. Like, all spray can. It ended up looking like this. This is gonna be so sick once I do a little final wet sand and polish. But that's super clean. Same with the rear bumper. It's a little spotty because I probably was light in a couple areas. I did a couple coats of clear coat here. So, I mean, it's pretty cool. And honestly, their clear coat looks pretty good. Yeah, any spots you see like a so, that is just, I was probably doing another coat and then there's just a little bit of overspray, but that literally, you'll just sand that down, buff that out. It was definitely difficult. It was not easy to make sure that yellow made it everywhere. I mean, yellow with an actual paint gun is still difficult because, I mean, I'm sure there's probably, like right here, honestly, there's a couple spots that I probably could have done a little bit more. All right, next day, I'm doing a flow coat on the clear coat just so I can make sure it's as smooth as possible. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, and I'm showing everything I'm doing under a microscope. This black did not turn out how I wanted it to, so I'm probably just gonna vinyl wrap the roof or do a PPF with S-Tech or something like that. I was just doing a super light wet sand, and like, I don't know, this paint booth, and I've had a lot of people ask me about like making a review on this booth. It's okay, but because like this booth actually just the reason why this hardtop is not going to come out how I wanted it. Which is fine because I'm going to take the hardtop off and probably just redo it anyways. I got to redo all the trim and spray all that, but it's like, man, after all the masking effort, stuff like that, like, I don't know. But also, you might see it in some angles because I was attempting to rush it because I'm so tired of being in this paint booth. While the clear coat was still sort of curing, I did like, you know, have some tarp over it just so I could quickly brush this. But anyways, you'll see like right here, again, please note this is under a microscope. So like this, that was just dust that like I literally had just wiped off all of this, but because this booth doesn't pressurize enough, it wasn't able to like, it's supposed to push everything out the vents and stick it to these filters, but instead it just kind of lingers around and it just kind of floats. And so that's kind of a crappy thing. Just so you guys know, that's how it is. So now, without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of the car and push it out because I am so over painting cars. Oh my goodness. I'm not gonna lie, I think this turned out better than I or probably most people anticipated. Now, what I do want to say is I'm letting the clear coat cure. Paint will shrink over time, and then once it's done shrinking, you can then compound it buff it, polish it, all that kind of stuff. You guys know I can make any paint look good. So we have a little bit of overspray because of the paint booth that I was using, but man, it does not show you how deep and cool this yellow is. So it's 1 a.m. in the morning and I'm editing this and realized I thought I did an outro, and I probably did, but I couldn't find it. So Gabriella's favorite color is yellow, and she's been asking for a yellow car ever since we got rid of the Evo 3, and this moment made it worth everything to me. This was I mean, you can't, like, a 2-year-old can't fake a reaction, but dude, oh my gosh, dude. It's literally worth the world to me. Anyways, that's it. It's 1 a.m. I'm trying to edit some videos. I have a bachelor party this weekend. I'm the best man at my best man's wedding, so I'm trying to finish some workout before I leave. I tell you what, guys, my advice for you is check yourself. A lot of things that you will blame other people for, you're guilty of yourself. That's most of you, actually. A lot of people, a lot of you virtue signal. Virtue signaling is literally making yourself feel not guilty of something that you do yourself, right? And dude, just check yourself, man. Stop blaming people. Stop going around the internet and hating on people because they're doing something, because guarantee you, the celebrity you're hating on, the person that's hating probably does much worse than the person that's being canceled has done. And so, don't virtue signal. Come on, you're better than that. But seriously, check yourself. Analyze yourself. Take that in a good way. The next time you want to judge somebody, realize that you're more judgeable than them, probably. That's why I try not to criticize people as much as I possibly can, because I am just not, it's not that I can't. Oh, I could. I got takes for days, but I just don't. So, I don't know. Guys, have an amazing day. Make your day better by analyzing yourself and just stopping the hate and just, it's gross. Don't do it. It's bad. Subscribe, like the video, turn the notifications on, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace, boys and girls.